Oh, hi, that's loud.
I don't even need headphones.
Yeah, the intro's definitely going.
I can hear it.
Okay. I think that's recording. Hopefully it is. Wow. Welcome to another episode of CO and Rome.
This is y'all.
And this is Rome. And this is episode number 81.
Yep.
Wow. Every time I say a number, I'm like, wow,
I mean, 81 episodes. That's a lot.
the number's going up.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're counting.
Yo, got a special guest this week.
Yeah, we do.
A traveler. A friend. A loyal listener.
A loyal listener.
Johani!
Hi guys.
Yo.
How you doing?
Welcome to the CO and Rome podcast.
Thank you for having me. Really
Finally.
excited.
So let me tell you why I wanted you on the show.
Okay.
You give us like the most thorough feedback.
Sometimes I write things down.
Really?
I kid you not. Yeah. Because, I mean, when I've sent messages to you guys through Facebook, I pause it because I want to tell you what I'm thinking at that moment. Because if not, I'm going to forget.
Okay.
So either I will send you that message at that moment or I will write it down. Like, I've actually done that.
That's great. I love that. I
Yo.
love that.
And when not only do you like give us a thorough review, like sometimes you add things, and I'm the producer in me is like, wow, she sounds really good. Like, and I feel like I'm like, if she was on the show, I feel like she would really add something. I think you have a talent that you might not be aware of.
I might not. But oh my, so many times I wish I was here. I really, because I want to like say something.
Interject on
Yeah.
something,
Oh my
yeah.
God. I'm like, oh man, they should have said this in this part or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I've never thought about it in any other form, just as having an opinion, like
Yeah.
just trying. I want to like tell you guys what
Maybe
I
you
think.
have a mini producer in you too.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
And
never
I
thought
think
about it.
it's going to be so interesting hearing your feedback on the episode that you're on.
Oh, I know.
I still want you to send
Yeah,
us.
please don't.
I'm already thinking I'm gonna listen to this anyway
Yeah, yeah,
again.
yeah.
So
Yeah, don't stop what you're doing because
Yeah, I
that's going to
wanna
be fucking
continue that.
hilarious.
I
That's
appreciate
great.
it. Yeah, I know that you guys appreciate it because this is really important to you guys. Like you
Yeah.
can tell, and I
They're
know
big
this.
deal.
Like I got
Thank
into
you.
this probably. You guys were 20 something episodes in, and I listened to them within like a week or something
know, I
like that, and I
remember you
got
hitting me
caught up really quick because I was like, oh my God, I love this podcast.
Were you listening to podcasts before our podcast?
No, and then I started listening to other podcasts after you guys.
Wow.
So
But
it's funny
no.
because it was for Amanda's baby shower for our Tinder baby.
That's where I heard. That's
our
right.
Tinder baby friend, and I had told her about it, and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna listen." And here we are.
Yep.
Yeah. Dope. You know, I like when people are like, you're my first podcast, but I like when we introduce people
Yes.
to podcasting in general. So,
Yeah.
again, thankful that you're here. I know this is going to be a really good
I'm
episode
excited.
before we jump into some topics. Best podcast of 2019.
Undisputed.
And if you want to dispute it, shoot us an email at coandrome@gmail.com.
Still no emails.
Yeah.
Still none. We only got one email, but it wasn't relevant
Yeah.
to the show. But anyway, other than that, if you want to get yourself some merch, head on over to afgoclothing.com. Get yourself a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, or a hoodie.
Yes, and we have a discount code for you guys. That's ZionRum15. It gets you 15% off. Cop you something, take a picture, tag us in it, let us shout you out.
And if you haven't already, definitely check us out on YouTube. You know what? CO and I had a company meeting. We've decided we're not
Yeah.
going to do full visuals on YouTube anymore.
We're going to give you little baby clips.
We're going to give you clips, extended clips,
Highlights.
whether it's segments. We'll do the shorter highlights on Instagram, but maybe break the segments up because not everyone can sit there and watch an hour and a half long
I
video.
was talking to her
People
about it.
have
Yeah.
attention spans of squirrels nowadays.
For me, it's just at the time that I'm able to listen to the show, I'm driving most of the time, and so I can't look at you guys.
Yeah.
People love watching though.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no,
it's
that's
so weird.
yeah.
It's like some people
A lot
are
of
like,
people
I
these
need to
days.
listen while I'm working or at the gym. Other people are like, I love seeing your
I
reaction.
think it depends on the age.
Yes,
That's
very
a
true.
huge thing.
Very,
I think
very
people
true.
that are listening probably in their 20s are more about YouTube and wanting to
I
watch
feel like old
those.
people like YouTube.
I don't watch YouTube a lot.
I would say it's a younger crowd.
Really?
Yeah, I think it would be.
I'm
a
getting
younger
a
Yeah.
mix. I'm getting older people that are like, "Are you on YouTube?"
crowd. Do they have that accent?
Sometimes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes.
We did run our info, and there's like people in like New Zealand and Japan.
I forgot to tell you something. So I'm at work, and one of my clients is like, "Guess who's calling me right now? Patrick." So Patrick told me to tell you that he said hello.
Who's Patrick?
Patrick is this guy that we met at Jerk Hut that has a boat, and I think he has a crush. I think he has a crush on my friend. So
Who
I forgot to tell you. I just
Who
remembered right now.
doesn't?
Patrick said, "Man, your girl, she don't talk, she don't call me. She don't." I was like, "She don't like you, Patrick.
I never answered his phone calls. Sorry,
Like
Patrick.
she don't like you." He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try her again."
Oh my God, one of those, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, he told me to tell you hi. I forgot.
Okay, hi, Patrick.
Okay.
All right, how was your week, Sia? How was your week, Johani?
Mine was great.
Anything to know?
Nothing
Yeah.
exciting.
No, everything's pretty good. Honestly, work wise, like my life wise, I'm Gucci.
Okay.
Like
Nothing exciting.
Nothing too exciting. Work is always super busy, which I am so grateful for. I have no complaints. I have my moments where I'm like,
We all do.
I can't with this.
Fuck this job.
Exactly. And then I'm like, you know what? Count your blessings.
Yeah, then you
Okay.
get that check, and you're like, you know what? It's not that bad.
That's pretty much
not
it.
that
That's pretty much
bad.
it. I get the bills and then I'm able to pay them with the check and I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
doing great,
Yeah,
guys.
like I'm a
So,
responsible adult.
pretty much. Yes. Adulting is not easy.
Sometimes I want to quit.
Yeah. No, it really is not. Like I get it. I get people that quit. I understand. It's not easy, but
Yeah.
somebody's
I get
got to
people that
do
quit.
it. Huh?
I get people that quit.
Yeah.
I almost quit my job not too long ago, man. I took the badge off. I'm so dramatic.
Yeah.
Today is gonna be my last day.
It's
Just
like,
lay the
guys,
badge on the desk.
You're such a movie person, though. Like I feel like that's like the actress within
she
you.
really is. Like every time I listen to the show, it's like something she like the
Dramatize
yes, yeah,
everything.
like trying to get to where she's getting
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
It's a build-up.
That's what I was
Yes.
trying to think of. The build up of it, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah, it's like, where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? Sometimes you end up where you didn't even think it was going.
No,
but
I loved the recap of your trip though last week because I was there with you.
Really?
Like, I was there the whole time. I mean, it sounded like a great trip. I'm so glad that you
man,
did it.
I had a good time.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not naive to how long-winded I am, and my storytelling skills have always sucked.
I have amazing storytelling skills.
Always
Nobody's
sucked.
talking about you.
And I've tried to improve. And my good friend, my friend with the good storytelling skills,
Yeah.
I think she's like my storytelling mentor.
Yeah.
I think you've gotten so much better. It used to be bad. It's not that bad anymore.
I feel like there's so much room for improvement still.
You've grown a lot
You've
since the
grown a
beginning, of the show. Like in so many different levels,
For sure.
Like it's insane. You can if you're somebody obviously like me that I've listened to every single episode. You can tell like the difference. It is huge.
Thank you.
And you can tell that you're still working on a lot of things, but you're very conscious of the things that you need to work on.
You know what? I appreciate the feedback, ladies.
Yeah.
That said,
You're
let's jump
welcome.
into some stories.
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, these aren't even real stories. I just want to tell you guys some things that have happened. So I was at the grocery store with CO, and we were in the cake aisle. And I was like, you know what?
As one does.
A nigga hasn't baked a cake in a long time.
I want to hear this. Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I baked the fucking cake. So in my head, I'm like, butter pecan box cake, cream cheese frosting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cook it in the 9x13. I'm going to cut the cake in half when it's done cooling down. And then I'm going to stack these shits on top of each
Right.
other.
I've never made a cake, by the way. So
Never?
never.
Yeah, so I'm like, yo, I'm going to let it cool down. I'm going to put a layer of frosting in between. Stack them shits. Then I'm going to do the crumb coat shit I saw on Facebook.
Yeah, it looks simple enough.
Stick it in the fridge.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna get my pipe bag for the frosting that I've
This is
only
all
used for deviled
happening
eggs.
in the cake aisle. Like this is
She's already going through
This
the
is
whole process,
through
right?
The cake aisle.
this is the build
On the drive home.
That's it. But it's detailed. I appreciate the details.
I'm
like,
like,
yo.
nigga, you getting the cake or not?
Like,
Let's go. We
I
got
don't
other
know.
aisles to
I
go
like the
to.
details.
I'm like, I'm about to use the pipe bag, do some little rosettes on the side. Yo, my inner baker was like rolling out in my head.
Okay, Martha Stewart.
Take the fucking cake out of the oven, let it cool down. I tried to flip the shit out the pan onto a cutting board, and the whole shit fell apart. My
Which
nigga.
I was tagged with the picture. I saw it.
My whole dream was just crushed in that moment.
But wait, how long did you let it cool though?
It said 10 minutes.
Nah,
Not
yeah, I
long
think
enough.
at least 30 minutes.
And then the thing about it is,
should've.
I was like, take a cloth, put some cold water on it, set it on the top part. When you flip it over, it'll cool it enough to the point where it'll just drop naturally. She's like,
Right.
I already fucked it up. It doesn't matter.
And then did you do the like cutting on the side so that
no.
it? Oh man, like even, I've never baked a cake, but I mean I've seen enough
I'm
shows. Like
stupid.
okay, you know it was. Listen,
You're
we
the
all have
smartest
those
dumb
days.
person I
That's what-
know.
you know,
You're
like
the
it happens.
smartest dumb person I know.
Yo, I was just like staring at this fucked up cake. Like, I watched a YouTube video 5 minutes ago that like gave me so much confidence.
Yeah,
and
no, you could tell that you were like, I'm killing this cake today.
You know what my question is though? So like, okay, the cake got fucked up because it fell off incorrectly into the like little plate or whatever the fuck you had it on, right? What happened to the cream cheese frosting? It looked like you gave up completely and you just was like, smack,
I feel like that's exactly what
smack.
happened.
Like, you didn't even try
She didn't
spreading
know.
it.
The thing is that my cake was so moist
Oh, that it wasn't.
that it was
gonna-
just falling apart. But I could make some cake pops if I wanted to. I just don't give a
cake
fuck.
pops. Yeah, you just be like, that's it. Dip it, whatever.
I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. It's all going to the same
you know
place.
what though? That's I appreciate the effort. I mean, it sounded like you were really inspired at the moment.
If y'all want some after the show, it's in the fridge. So anyway.
I heard. I mean, it still tastes good, right? It's
Yeah,
all about
yeah.
flavor. Who cares about presentation?
Hey, yeah, who cares?
You do. You just said it's all about the details and build up. So clearly,
And stories, not food. For me, food
food is food.
food is food.
Got it.
My motto with food is don't knock it till you try it. Like
Okay.
even if it looks
That's my motto in life.
like unless it looks really, really gross.
Okay.
Right.
Yo, I went to the tiny house convention.
Yes.
All I'm gonna say is some tiny houses were cute, some weren't. Some were on school buses, some were made from the ground up, some roll, some are foundations. Some of them were nice enough to the point where I was like, yo, I could see myself maybe living in one of these one day if I just give up on life and fuck with a nigga that don't give a fuck about my tiny house. And I don't know, it was cool, but what was more exciting is that the event was on the SPC campus in South St. Pete, where apparently there's the police academy.
Oh.
And my brother's ambitions is to become a cop.
Okay.
He's been losing weight to gear up for that. So ironically, we're leaving and see the obstacle course that the police use for their training.
Mm-hmm.
So I told my brother, I'm like, yo, you should do it. I'm like, a nigga could probably get arrested, but I'll let them know you're just very ambitious and serious. And then he told me I should do it. And I was like, okay. And at first I had a hard time getting over the first wall, but I did it.
Yeah.
And then I went to go crawl under another wall and ripped my fucking pants open. So if you're watching YouTube,
That's why she didn't change them. She wanted people to know. You know?
Also,
Because what's a story without the proof?
right?
You know?
Maybe
can
I'll
also
insert
see
the
it
video.
happening on our Instagram story. It's right in the middle of you scooting down under that wall. I heard it.
Yeah.
I heard it. It was like I was
it
like,
fucked
did she
up my
hurt her
whole
leg?
crawl. Like I was like in motion with the crawl, like Laura
And it
Croft
went
and shit.
clap.
And then I just heard it go, and I'm like, really, nigga? Yo.
What makes it funnier is that she's dying laughing, and I don't know if her brother was aware of what was happening, but the only thing I can see my friend doing is like pointing like this to her pants, and I'm just like, she's trying to tell you what's happening without verbalizing it. It was
Because I
great.
couldn't get it out. But I feel like 2 for 2, I've had things not go the way I saw it in my
And
head.
check you out. You still have a good attitude about it. Normally, you'd probably be upset.
Still
Yeah.
standing.
Hey.
Such
So,
growth.
hey, I got quite a few topics, but I don't think I should go first.
You said we needed to bring out the funny off the gate.
You want me to get into this shit?
Yeah.
You want me to get into this shit?
Get into
I got so many
it.
jokes already prepped.
Pussy talk. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
This is very vagina friendly.
I love it.
This one is for the fellas.
Okay.
PSA.
I love it.
Made a new rule while I was taking a shower the other day.
Let them know.
PSA to the fellas. If your woman has a fat pussy.
Ooh, I hate that word.
It describes it. Like, how what's chubby?
It's like, wah.
Oh, pussy. You don't like the word pussy?
Yes.
I'm okay with it.
If your woman
so
has
dirty.
a fat punani, vagina, kitty cat.
No, I'm saying you could say it. I'm just not gonna say it.
If your woman's got a fat pussy and or is of a particular size and she shaves it nice, she deserves Red Lobster.
Ooh.
Why? Because there's folds, there's crevices. She's a fucking Olympian in the shower and deserves a fucking medal.
I just had a vision of you like this.
I can speak on this because I am that woman.
Okay, you are women.
And I wish I would have told somebody that. Like, do you know how much work went into doing this for you? I didn't do this for me.
Right.
This
get
was for
nothing from
you.
this.
And you're right. You got to stretch it out. You got to get in there. Like,
Yeah.
it is not easy.
There's tricks.
Yeah.
Like me, I'll get the washcloth to
Right.
get a good grip
Oh.
to hold the curtain open. So while I'm shaving the inside,
Yeah.
because when I try to hold and shave, it gets too slippery.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I take
Okay.
the washcloth, grip that shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
Is that why
Yeah.
you grabbed the washcloth today from the closet?
no. I grabbed the washcloth because your dog fucking threw up in my fucking bed.
My bad.
Wrong bitch. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
But I just want to say, and if she's super hairy,
Yeah.
like a bitch like me, it don't stop at the pussy.
Nope.
Gotta run it all the way to the back.
Yo, do you
All
have
the
a,
way.
Do you have a trick of how you do it to the like all the way to the back?
I bend over. I bend over a little bit.
I do like a semi
My
squat.
butt
And then
is
I do
not
like a
that
slide.
huge, so I don't think I have to bend over per se. But I do. The
I have to
slide.
lift the
You
cheek
gotta like.
and I have to like slide.
Yep.
And it's weird because if it's a cheap plastic razor,
Oh, no,
you
I can't do
feel
that.
like the plastic kind of like
Nicks.
yeah, it's very uncomfortable sliding up your butt crack.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know this is graphic, but you niggas,
This is you and Ron.
Listen, I was just about to say that. Like, that's Zio and Rome. Like,
Take
if you
your
haven't
bitch.
listened to the show and you don't know how
Well, you
they
know
roll,
today.
like, yeah, you find it out.
so I told my brother about this topic today
I
while
don't
we were
know
at
about
Tiny
that. Okay, I'm
House.
just kidding.
And you know what he said? He was like, until I find that one fucking hair, nigga. If I find one hair in the crevice that you missed, no Red Lobster for you.
Get the heck out of here. Was he serious?
I don't know, but I do feel like when I do find a hair that I missed, I feel
always
ashamed
miss
of
something.
myself.
I don't. I'm like,
I'm like,
oh
fuck,
well.
I thought
Have
I
y'all
did it.
ever missed a whole line on your
Yes,
legs?
because you know you go by sections, right?
Yep.
So you'd be like 1, 2, like you go all
Especially
the way
like when I've
around.
shaved without my glasses.
Yes.
And you're just feeling, you're like,
Yeah.
like and then you
you're
get
like, I
out the
got
next,
it
you're
all.
like,
Oh shit!
Oh,
It's
well.
just gonna have to stay there.
it is what it
It's
is.
gonna have to stay there.
It is
I
what it
can't-
is.
Man, I should tell y'all how I shave my legs because I'm super blind.
You don't wear
I
contacts
do it
at all.
while on the toilet, dry. I dry shave my legs.
Okay,
that
that
sounds
hurts.
painful.
I'm a G. What can I say?
I can't with your genus. I can't.
You use
Maybe I should make a
nothing.
rule.
I mean, you can't like
No
lay a
lubrication.
towel
I
or
deserve
something and just
extra-
put soap and
maybe
like try.
lotion.
Somebody told me about that. I feel like I have such sensitive skin that
No,
I'm
you'll
bound
probably
to
get a
an allergic
rash.
reaction.
Oh,
I
for
do it
sure.
right before I get in the shower, though.
Sounds dangerous.
I don't know.
Anyway,
You don't
Hey,
put lotion
listen.
on your nana though, right? And then shave.
To each their own.
I'm talking about
okay.
just the legs because I can't see in the shower.
Yeah.
Which makes me even more of a G while I'm shaving the pussy because I'm going all based off feel. Because first of all, I can't see.
Yeah, I definitely pop my contacts in when it's that time. When I'm like, okay, today's the day. She getting a little trim up, hey girl.
I gotta see.
And I pop them contacts in because
My
I'm not
whole
risking
situation
it.
is blind. I can't.
Oh,
I
no,
can't see
girl.
what's going on.
You're
Do you use a
right.
mirror to check the situation?
No, I can kind of feel around, and I'm small enough that I can just kind of flexible enough
yourself,
to
yeah.
kind of see
Wow.
what's up. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, I
So-
feel so ashamed of myself. all of a
Don't be
sudden.
ashamed.
I'm not.
I mean, you know, we all do things differently.
So I have a question for y'all. has anyone here done vaginal waxing, like Brazilian wax?
Nope.
And then the second question is, would either of you be open to getting your privates or your anus bleached?
No and no.
So I have gotten waxed before, and I've done it myself.
Yeah, no. You've never had someone else do it?
I've never had someone else do it because I feel like I don't want one of those Asian ladies in my nana. And then, like, you know how they talk shit when they're doing your nails? Like, I'm probably going to hear them talking shit about my nana.
But what if you go to, like, Pia Aesthetics or one of these?
Yeah, that's different. But, I mean, nobody knows your vagina better than you.
And your gynecologist.
He knows it better than I do.
Oh, what if gynecologists started doing bikini waxes?
I might do it. If that happened, yeah. But I don't know. Like, and it's not so much embarrassment because I've become very comfortable with my body and my imperfections and flaws and all that at this point. But I feel like the pain of it, it's just not worth it.
Oh, no,
for
it's
me.
painful.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why? Why would I do that? I don't care. Like, I'm going to shave it when I feel like it. You know, and most of the time it's just so that I feel comfortable when I'm going to be intimate with somebody, not so much for that person. Like, I don't care what you want per se. And most of the guys that I've dated don't care about that stuff. Like, if a guy says to me, "Oh, I can't be with a girl who's hairy or has any hair,"
I've never heard a guy
on
say
her
that.
pussy. I know a dude that hates hair.
I've heard guys ask how you shave it.
No, I know a guy that hates hair completely.
Wow.
And yeah, I do it for me. So I'm not going to go through the pain of getting it torn off of my body. Listen, I will shave it if there's a couple of bumps because you didn't call me the day that I did it and I was fresh. The next day you're going to get the little bumps. Like, it is what it is.
Peach fuzz.
It is what it is.
No,
like,
but
I'm not going to wax.
I will say this. It lasts longer. Mm-hmm. It lasts longer. You don't get like little ingrown hairs,
right,
or things like that. But it is super painful, let me tell you. And you know, you doing it to yourself is different too because you know when you're about to pull.
Right.
So let me tell you, I literally did it for the first time. Like, when I did it for the first time, I ended up doing half of it. But you know, when it gets to like the little inside crevice above your little hood part, girl, let me tell you, I literally was in front of the mirror like this, right? And I was going to do it, but it was so painful that I was just like, it's just not worth it. Like, I'm just going to say, like, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
No.
I G'd it out and ended up doing it anyways. But yo, super painful.
Yeah, I can't.
Super painful.
What do you normally use to shave? Just regular soap, or do you have like something that you buy?
I use
my
vaginal soap.
Conditioner.
Really?
Yes, conditioner.
I'm scared of putting anything other.
You're not putting it in there, just on the outside of it. But like, that's what I've been using for years, and it leaves it so smooth. And obviously, make sure that your razor is up to date. Like, you know, you don't want like an old ass razor. But conditioner. And you know how I noticed? I bought some shaving cream from one of those, you know, when they do the sex parties or whatever, and they have lube and
vibrators and all that stuff.
So they had right. So they had a cream that was for shaving, and I was like, this feels like conditioner. So once I ran out, I started using conditioner, and it worked the exact same way.
Changed your life.
Changed my life. And then afterwards, I put Aquaphor on it so I don't get ingrown hairs.
Smart.
Mm-hmm. So just little tidbits.
One thing that you did say though, one thing that you said that you were like, make sure that your razor's up to par. Mm-hmm. If I'm gonna do like the whole body, legs, armpits, nana, booty, all, I always make sure that I do my nana first before I do any other body part with the razor.
Yeah, because it's a job, and that's what makes it an Olympic task. Mm-hmm. That's why she deserves Red Lobster. That's it.
I deserve Red Lobster even if I don't shave my
I feel like Red Lobster though.
Yeah, like
I'm thinking an actual seafood.
Burns.
Like a real seafood place. It might not even have to be Burns. Burns is a little up there. But
take me to Burns. My nana's worth some Burns.
Yo, this bitch was shitting on Burns until she went to Burns.
These are facts.
Right.
These are facts.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you and I had a conversation. Are you done with this topic, by the way?
I think so.
Okay. You and I had a conversation, I don't know, earlier this week, and I wanted to get more feedback with Johani being here. Do you think that you can have sex with someone who you aren't attracted to physically? There's just other things that are attractive of them to you?
All right, let me clarify this question. Like, I'm not attracted to them physically at all,
Like,
or
it's
that
not
their physical attraction is not the number one thing.
Their physical, like, it's not, you didn't see this person and like, yup, I'm giving him the nana because he looks good as fuck.
Right.
Like, that wasn't the first thing.
Yeah,
you got to know the person, and then you were like, I'm gonna fuck the shit out this nigga.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you're not attracted to them on that level.
Yeah, I could do it.
Yeah,
I've done it.
I can't.
Really?
Yeah, no.
I said the same thing.
Because even if I'm attracted to that person on another level, like intellectually or whatever it might be, they're fine. That's great. That's friend level type stuff, though. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the attraction. It's just, you know, like we have things in common, whatever. But if there's no physical attraction, and obviously physical attraction is different for everybody. I'm not saying that he has to be this gorgeous model looking type dude, but there has to be some type of physical attraction for me to sleep with them.
You said if there's no physical attraction, but when I asked her to clarify her question, she's saying you can be at least a little bit physically attracted to them, but it's not like the first thing that jumps out.
Oh, yeah, no. If there is some sort of physical attraction, then yeah. Because, yeah, there is a difference between... you know, like I mean, he's good enough. Like, that's fine. I can hit it. And then there's like the one that you're like, I want to jump on this man.
Like, I'm
so
already
bad.
moist.
Yes.
And
which
then
I love the
like,
word moist, by the way. Sorry, I just like people don't like moist.
And then there's like you look at him and you're like, under zero circumstances will I ever put my vagina near your body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel I feel like I've been in situations where when I meet someone and physically. Just looking at them, if they've never opened their mouth, there's nothing about them that makes me moist.
Right.
But once I start talking to them, they become more and more attractive to me.
Juices start flowing.
That's happened to me before.
Yep. Same.
If you smell good and you dress good and all those things,
that's it.
And you're well groomed, and on top of that, you're fun, great person to talk to. You don't have to be Idris Elba or GQ model because there's so many other elements that are gonna get me like
Yeah.
In it.
But I think that it's also because that's a buildup that comes with time. Like, you know how we spoke before saying that a female knows within the first 5 minutes of interacting with a man if she will sleep with him or not. So like maybe you are getting to know those first 5 minutes. You probably don't think that you're going to be able to sleep with this man. Now you've spent time. Now you've invested getting to know each other. Now you're probably thinking you'll sleep with this man.
I feel like if I don't catch it within the first 5 minutes, if I meet them out at a bar or at an outing or something like that, I feel like I can put that together by the end of the night. And if I don't, then it's on him because he didn't let his personality out within that amount of time we had together. So
yeah,
it depends on how comfortable they are sharing with you.
Yeah, and then what time frame are we speaking here? Like, are you talking about like if you meet somebody and you like... do you do the whole one night stand type thing, or is this like somebody that you're developing feelings for?
I think
about the decision making.
The decision making. I think that if I've never had a one night stand, but if I was to have a one night, I know it's weird. Whatever. I've never had a one night stand. Thanks. I've never had one, but I think if I was to have a one night stand, it would be. In my mind, I think about Zio. What would Zio do? And it's like, I would have to be superly physically... Like, I don't give a fuck about any of my moral compass.
One-night stands happen.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like...
I've had several.
How much can you really get to know someone in a first night that you're like, I see beyond your physical attraction?
You've never met somebody, like, and just that same day, you're like, wow, like there's an attraction, there's a vibe, there's... Yeah, so that's what usually happens with one night stands, and you're just like, I'm probably not going to see this person again, or you're in that mood to just get something out of your system, and that's what happens.
I feel like if in that first time meeting that person, you're feeling something in your pants, and you don't care if they're your man or not, that's the indication. Like,
so like, let's say you've never interacted.
Not saying that I do that. I'm just saying.
So let's say you've never interacted with someone like face to face, like personal interaction, but like, you know, all their social media stuff. You're in their radar too. Is that considered a first night stand when you guys first meet up?
No, because we discussed this. Remember, I went through this
she
with
said
you guys.
We discussed this.
No, because remember I told you guys about one night stand is supposed to be, I would think by definition, you meet somebody, you
don't know each other,
right? And this, it could be either for like, let's say you guys talked on, you matched on one of the apps, but you went out right afterwards. Like you haven't been speaking for a very long time. You guys go out.
No
go
explorative conversations.
Nothing. Exactly. You guys go on your date. And on that day, you decide, you know what? I'm going to hit this guy. And I'm not going to, I don't really have any further interest. But
just
a physical
thank you,
thing.
ma'am.
Exactly. That's it. And it happens. That was what Tinder was for originally. People just meeting, they go out, they have sex. Yeah. And then that's it. And then they never see each other again. And then you have the cases where you meet somebody from out of town, which has happened to me. And you're like, yeah, you're in the mood. The person is good looking. It was kind of serendipitous, so to speak, that you meet and you do it and you barely know their first name. And then that's it. Like, you know?
Yo, but I think that sometimes what we confuse is, especially if you're a person that's never fucked on the first night and you've never had a first night stand.
Yeah.
You start to clump those together.
Right.
So I think that's where I get confused.
Yeah, I think
fucking on the first night needs a little name.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know what the name
Little
would be for
first
that.
nighty joint.
Yeah.
Because I have done that too. Yeah, where I've fucked somebody after our first date, and then I've seen them again. Yeah, afterwards. That's definitely not a one night stand.
What are we calling it?
Because I think that the definitive word here is one night stand.
Yeah, one night stand is literally you meet somebody, you fuck them, you never see them again or speak to them. That's it.
First night, bam. Points 3 times.
I don't know. I
don't know about that.
Fine, whatever. Anyways, so all in all, you are okay with fucking someone who is not physically attractive.
Yeah, because especially with me being sapiosexual, like the weirdest and stupidest things can make me crave someone. Like, just things that they say, mannerisms.
Oh no, same.
Such a
is that what that means?
Mannerisms?
That what did you call it?
Sapiosexual. Yeah, like mental stimulation is what makes you horny.
Yeah. She's super sexy.
It's like, wow, you're so smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's been guys that I would never think my friend would find appealing in any sort of way. And like, then she'll be like, oh my God, he's so hot. I'm like, really? He's so intelligent. I'm like, okay, I can see that.
No, the way someone would speak to me can definitely have an effect on me sexually.
Yeah. And if they care about me, like,
yeah, you're crazy.
Speaking about, I got a couple of health topics, both of them sex health. So I had a little masturbation session.
Yo, this is definitely a podcast of two single bitches because we've been talking about masturbation for like a month now.
Which
yo, this is scary.
I can relate some of the things that you have said. I'm like, oh my God, I can relate more to you. And actually, that was one of the things that I wrote down because I wanted to talk about that real quick. Where I will rub one out like with my vibrator and I'll be good. Because I just need like that really get that energy out of me just a little bit. No, you said you're a one and done.
Oh yeah.
And I'm the same. I don't really do it. I have to be really, really in the mood to do it multiple times.
I'm always doing it multiple times.
But it's a lot of times it's very quickly because my vibrator is very good.
Very efficient.
And I'm also not a vibrator girl.
Oh, you're like manual labor?
No. Manual labor?
I can't. I can't. No.
That is the name of this podcast. Manual labor.
She made you sound like a migrant worker, nigga.
I was saying like construction.
I'm like, people still do that? I can't.
I pictured myself with one of those yellow vests they give the homeless people and a hard hat.
I didn't know that. Yo, I can't do it by myself. I can't get there.
It's not about my grandmother's picking fruit.
My hand hurts just thinking about it.
What?
Like I'm not. No.
See, but that's also like because I'm really not putting in that much work because I know exactly what the spot is. It's gonna make me feel a certain type of way.
You've already gotten to know yourself like that.
So it's like. I think that's why I can go so many times because it's like I know exactly where to go. I know how fast it's gonna happen. I'm gonna go again. It's so easy.
Yeah. Oh, boy. I got into masturbation kind of later in life too, so that might make a difference. By the time I did, it's because I finally got a vibrator and I tried it and I was like,
Fuck
like
these
I
niggas.
just said pretty much.
No, actually, I was masturbating way before I even lost my virginity.
I can see that. That's the vibe that I get from you. That's why I'm
That's why I'm so good at it.
That's why I don't have one night stands.
That's why
I just go home and rub it
don't
out.
knock it till you try it. Okay.
That's my motto in life. Yeah, that's why it is what
right.
it is.
Yes. Health.
Masturbating, right? And as soon as I like let off, my head was like, ow.
Yo, you got a migraine?
I got a migraine as soon as I came, and it scared me.
That's weird, yeah.
Because the week before, there was an article circulating on Twitter about the woman who died of a brain aneurysm.
From nutting?
Stop.
I swear.
Okay, but that's a pre-existing condition.
She was really putting in manual labor.
like,
No, the nigga was eating her pussy.
oh,
She orgasmed and busted a blood vessel in her head. She passed out, got her to the hospital, had a fucking brain aneurysm, and died.
Now, brain aneurysms
There's
are
something
very
already there,
hard
though.
to detect. Both of my uncles actually passed away from
Sorry.
brain aneurysms many years ago. That was very little, but yeah, very unfortunate, and it's hereditary as well.
Really?
Yes, and especially in the males in the family. So my brother, my dad's son, has gotten checked to make sure that there's nothing's there. But just an FYI to people.
So I have a former colleague of mine. She was under a lot of stress at work because she used to vent to me all the time. And I found out after I left the company that shortly after she died of a brain aneurysm. So I thought it was just something like if you're under a lot of stress, whatever, something pops, boom,
Yeah,
you're done.
it could be anything. For my uncles, I think it was they didn't take care of themselves very well. They smoked and they drank a lot, and I think that affected it. Obviously,
Magic school bus.
Yeah, and this was in the 90s. My first uncle died in the 90s, and then my other uncle passed away in the early 2000s, early 2000s. And they were both 29.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, they were both 29 when they passed away. So it was crazy. I think almost within the same amount of time before their 30th birthdays.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So I could be wrong, and if I am, please correct me. But if I'm not mistaken, your brain aneurysm, it's a clot that's already
been
there,
oh,
right?
Yes. Even
so it could have been
pretty much your
something-
whole life,
right? And you're just
Yeah.
not aware of it.
And then something
it just,
happens that triggers it,
Correct.
and it explodes.
So clearly,
Oh.
she had something already going on with
So maybe
her.
she never
And
had
she
an
never got
orgasm
checked.
before.
and maybe this was the first
that might have
time.
been, yeah.
And
Or
the
it was so intense of an
Right.
orgasm
Boom.
that it really affected.
I just want to know.
Yeah.
Scared.
I never
Well,
want to
go get checked. Go get a what is it, an MRI or whatever?
I get MRIs all the
CT
time.
scan.
Well, I have lesions all over my brain, so maybe I'm just more.
No, I think they would have told you if you had an aneurysm.
Yeah,
that
especially
could
as many-
explode.
So with
many
as
as
and
you've
many
had.
MRIs I've had, they would have saw it.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Oh, okay, I'm Gucci.
You're
then,
good.
nigga.
Yeah, girl.
But
you
you
just
know,
gotta.
I
You just
heard-
went through too hard. That's all
I
it
heard
was.
an old wives' tale one time, and I don't know how true this is, but they said that if you
They're all
are
true.
having sex and you nut and you get a headache afterwards, that it was a bad nut.
So I'm gonna tell you what's been going on with me lately. Whoa. I'm kind of like seeing someone a little more seriously, kind of, and a lot of sexting has been happening.
Ah, that's good
And
stuff.
I'm not that person,
To
but
sexed.
mm-mm.
Oh, I'm
man,
really
I
good at
love
it. But I'm the one that's like how they do the memes, like you're like sitting on the toilet or something and getting real intent. Like I'm not even really that into it, but I can say a lot of good things.
Yes, I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
I'm very
and
detailed.
he knows like exactly what to say, and I feel like that starts getting in my head. And that's what happened that day of the headache thing. I think it got me way
Yeah,
too
you were riled
excited.
up.
That
You were riled
once I
up.
popped. I was like, oh my gosh.
It was a true release.
Yeah.
True release.
He was putting in that manual labor.
You good girl
Yeah.
though. You ain't got no aneurysm.
Good job, sir.
Yeah.
Good job.
Props.
We about to get deep.
Wait a minute.
Wait, yeah.
Yeah.
So
What are you
kind of on the health topic, but not sexual health. I kind of wanted to talk about mental health,
Okay.
especially in the minority community. We all know it's something that we don't really talk about. We don't really recognize it. I mean, there's more awareness now than there has ever been. But, you know, I've kind of been going through it with my younger sister, and I've talked to you guys about it previously. We haven't been able to get her to a doctor and get diagnosed. but the signs are all there. She displays characteristics of either bipolar disorder or like borderline personality disorder.
Ooh.
And right now they're kind of subtle, but and like we were talking earlier, things have been there since she was younger. There were signs that something has been off with her, but we always just kind of knocked it to she's a kid, you know, she's young, she still needs to grow up, all that stuff. She's had 2 kids by, you know, she's 26 now. She had 2 by 23.
Which can do a number on you.
Which I was about to say, I think it triggered a lot of things for her. And again, we kind of recognized what was happening because she definitely went through postpartum depression with her second child, but she never talked to us. And even though we were there, we offered our help constantly, and we did help a lot, especially me. Because I am single, I don't have kids yet, all that, I was able to step up a lot more than the rest of my family with her kids. But again, we still kind of kept knocking it to, well, she's young. And for some women mature very quickly once they find out that they're going to have a child. And others, it still takes them a while, if ever they mature. They just kind of, their kids survive somehow, you know? Which unfortunately would have been the case with my sister if none of us stepped up to kind of help her out. But at this point, I kind of, she tends to get lost, you know, and she'll communicate with us little by little, but she doesn't.
Like get lost, like you have no idea where she is.
Exactly. Yeah, like we don't know who she's staying
Pokemon
with. We know that she has used drugs, which is also another trigger. You know,
it can be a big trigger.
Exactly.
Are you okay with sharing some of those subtle signs that you said that you peeped from the very beginning?
I was just going to ask them.
Basically, the not really thinking about the consequences of her actions on a large scale. You know what I'm saying? Because she's made some serious decisions throughout her life that could affect her very negatively, and it just doesn't
faze her.
Yeah, it doesn't faze her. And with her children, like, you know, even like when she was younger, just she had a full ride to college. Like she had it paid for through the military because my dad was in the army, and just all these opportunities that in our logical brains were like, yeah, like she had it made, like she was good, and just kind of left it. She just, I'm good. Like, I don't need this. And just, she always seeked the streets, just always wanted to be in the streets, even though my mom took us out of those environments, like from Puerto Rico to St. Louis. In St. Louis, we lived in a predominantly black neighborhood. It was not the best neighborhood. We moved from there to a predominantly white neighborhood because she constantly just trying to move us to better areas. And my sister just, and that's what she grew up in, was the good areas, honestly. And for some reason, she just always wanted to go somewhere else. And I had a conversation with her very recently, last week actually, because in my brain, obviously, we're all trying to sit there and think, what could we have done? What did we miss? What, you know, this and that and the other. And when she was a teenager, I was in my 20s and I was going to college and I was working and I wasn't really paying that much attention, unfortunately. And I can't kill myself for that because it is what it is. How am I supposed to know? But I said to her, I said, I know that you've always seeked out friends, people from the outside rather than your family. And I think it's because you think that we won't understand where you're coming from, how you're feeling, everything that's going through your brain that doesn't make sense to you, you know, but at the same time, you know, you don't talk to us because you think you might, you're going to be judged somehow. And I get that, you know, and my cousin is a psychologist. She's a clinical psychologist in New York. And I had read articles and everything. I'm trying to educate myself on how to speak to her. And the biggest thing is to show her that you're there. And on my entire family, that's what we've done, is show her our support. Listen, you got a place to stay, whatever you need. She's come over to shower from time to time. But we can't make her change. We can't make her go to the doctor. We can't make her, you know, be there for her kids every day. We can't make her do these things. Either way, she is conscious enough to know that what she's doing, something's wrong, but she's not seeking help for it.
You know, as I listen to you, I try to think of like, what is the best thing to do in that situation? Because it's very difficult to help people that don't want help
Yes.
or aren't ready to be helped. And I actually was having lunch with a friend of mine yesterday who has someone very dear in their family that's going through some very serious health issues, but they're being kind of like a hypochondriac in a sense, almost as though they want attention, and they're like, start planning my funeral and super dramatic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Sometimes it's like when you try to tell people like you should do this or you should do that, and I'm worried about you, they shut down or get super defensive.
Right.
And I was like, man, something that's always helped me with the people that I love that are going through it is just sometimes getting them out of their normal element and shaking things up and showing them a different view of the world, because once they get in their cycle of work, home, kids, and all, they get in this cycle that's like perpetuating.
Yeah, no, and that's what we've been trying to do. I've been trying to get her to come to my friends' homes, you know, and kind of break that, because I've told her, I was like, she wants to stay in Tampa, but Tampa's not good for her, like especially the people that she hangs out with. And we have been trying to get her out of those circles and see other people and do other things, but it's very difficult. With my sister, it's the complete opposite. For her, nothing's a big deal. She doesn't understand why everybody's stressing about it. And my family is like, especially my mom. Obviously, this has been the hardest on my mom, and it's been killing her. And my sister is walking around without a care in the world.
Yeah, it's her version of normal.
Exactly.
Is completely out of line.
Exactly.
Of what's
and I
to
try to
guys.
tell my mom, like, Ma, she doesn't think logically. She doesn't think like me and you. Because my mom's constantly, but I don't understand it. And I'm like, we cannot understand it. We're not in her brain. We don't know what's going on. The only thing that we can do is just let her know we're here. And then me, on a personal level, as you guys have seen, I take care of my nephews a lot. And I try to be there a lot because my sister's not there, and she's very unpredictable, and so they're with their dad right now most of the time and his family, but I do try to you know, take them with me. Because they're a lot.
Another thing that you mentioned, like one thing that you said, that's her level of normal. I don't know the extent of what the signs are that you're saying that you see from her. However, I do believe that people who go through certain things are maybe addicted to chaos. I feel there's a lot. That's 100%, a real thing.
Yes,
I feel like
that's another thing.
I have family members that their norm is constantly having drama and constantly having chaos, where I think that that's draining to them. It's just another day. They seek
on
it
spot.
So I wonder if that's perhaps something that she's going through 100%. As well.
It's like, to me, I can't understand how you can't just, because I've asked her, you know, just stay here, like watch some TV, some movies. Like I love that.
That's too normal.
That's exactly that. She cannot do normal.
Right.
That is the problem.
She needs some sort of like excitement.
Exactly.
Something that's preoccupying her.
Yeah, and I've been trying to think like, what else? What can we get her out of there with, to where yes, it'll give her that adrenaline, but it will be in a healthier way rather than what she's doing right now in the path that she continues on. And then, unfortunately, my sister, she will make some efforts to start getting better, but it's 2 steps forwards, 10 steps back, you know, and it's very, very draining.
Florida is a very interesting place to live in as it relates to you being concerned about a loved one's mental health and things like that. For example, I had a really good friend of mine some years ago that her daughter was mentally retarded, and she would run away from home a lot. And not only was she mentally retarded, but she was a very attractive young girl that liked to run away from home. So as she grew older, it became scarier, and like what's going to happen with her. So she ended up in the streets, getting pregnant, living in and out of homeless shelters. And as a parent, it just felt like no matter how many times she called the cops, all they would do is bring her home so she can run away again. There's nothing you can do. Me being a person that struggled with mental health issues, like especially when I was a teenager, I've been through some very serious things. If you live in the state of Florida and you have someone in your family that you're concerned about, there's something called Baker acting. And basically, if you feel that someone is considered a threat to themselves or others, you can call to have them Baker acted, in which they'll be required to go under mental health evaluation. And
72 hours.
Yeah. And it's not a long-term solution, but I think it's good for people, anyone who may be dealing with this, to at least know that that's an option. It may not be a long-term solution or life-changing, but
it can be a jump start to something.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to bring it up on here, because I know you guys have, you know, a fairly large audience, and I want people to feel less shame about talking about it, even if it's a loved one of yours. Like, I don't want to keep it hidden. I don't want people to not know. Like, I've talked to my friends about it. I want people to be aware, because of the fact that we kind of did see signs early on. Although my mom did try to get her to a doctor a while back, and she just refused. She just never wanted to go. But still, even if you try, but don't ignore it. Like, don't act like it's just, oh, whatever. They're just, like, it's not a big deal. It is. It's real. Mental health is real, and it's an issue, and we need to talk about it more. People need to talk about it.
And I think that it's important, especially with what you said culturally. We're taught that you're not, this is
get over it.
Yeah, this is a bad thing. We don't go through these types of problems. These are not
ain't nothing wrong with you, boy.
Like, oh, just snap out of it. No, this is a real thing. It's important for us to accept that it's a real thing and address it accordingly.
It's I'm my brother's keeper, I'm my sister's keeper type thing, and it's like, we have to try our best to be there, even though the resources are limited and it can be a little hard sometimes. So that said, if there's anyone listening that's dealt with something like this, that you can think of some ideas, solutions that can help Johani, or that can help anyone else who's listening, if you could please comment or email us, and then that way we can have a follow-up to this.
Or if you're someone that is feeling like you might have, like, something's not right in your brain,
it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. And you want to talk to anybody, you know, like, if you feel like you don't have anybody in your family or friends that you can talk to, we're here. Like, you know,
for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have anything on the health tip?
No, but
can I
go ahead?
This is very quick. So you guys heard about PrEP with HIV? So basically, if you're in a relationship with someone who
I just thought about something. This is so inappropriate.
Asshole.
So sorry.
She's such a fucking asshole, man.
Bro, I was thinking about that commercial that we were watching.
We were watching Love and Hip Hop clips from YouTube, and they kept showing us the HIV, like, HIV, but I still live my life.
Jesus,
I'm like, why do they keep showing this to us?
So sorry.
Y'all getting checked?
Apparently, I need to.
Love and Hip Hop is somehow tied
to HIV,
like,
because they kept coming on
all the time. I'm sorry, friend. Go ahead.
So if you're in a relationship with someone who's living with HIV and you're worried about contracting it, there is this thing called PrEP. It's an acronym for some sort of medication you can take to avoid catching it. Well, there's a big thing going on right now where people who have been taking PrEP have been contracting HIV, and it's happening out of nowhere.
What?
Yeah.
So the opposite effect is
PrEP
happening?
has been out a long time, but recently there's been like several people coming out that have, I don't know if something faulty's going on with the pills or something going on like that. But this report that I read says a Sydney man has become the 7th known case globally to contract HIV despite taking Truvada, also known as the blue pill or PrEP, which was listed on the PBS last year, which prevents the contraction of the virus in more than 99% of cases, but it's not foolproof. So whenever they tell someone to take this, they always tell you that it's no guarantee.
Of course, with
but
everything.
Even if you like, your husband has HIV, you're the wife, you're thinking about having a kid, you're like, we're using protection, but PrEP is even used in a way for them to have a safe pregnancy and not pass it on to the child and not pass it on to mom. So I just want to make sure that if anyone listening is in a situation where they're taking PrEP because they are with an infected partner, I just want to make sure that you're aware of what's going on. There's something going on out here, and I just want everyone to be safe. I personally have loved ones, family members living with HIV. As many people want to act like it's taboo, like you don't know nobody living with HIV, like it's out here, nigga.
I have 2 family members that passed away from HIV.
Like, it's a very real thing. So I commend anyone who decides to stay and be intimate with a partner living with HIV. We see these commercials that are like, you can live a normal, active life with HIV, but there's some shit going on in the blue pill world. I just want y'all niggas to know.
Sounds like a conspiracy to me, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
This is kind of like piggybacking off of some sort of like mental health.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Do you think that as a society we put too much pressure and expectancy on men, Is that why we have so many emotionless, cold, don't give a fuck dudes out here in this generation?
I am so excited that you brought this up because I actually forgot to write this one down. I was going to talk about the pressure that is put on men.
Yes.
And how many also have mental issues, and it's even more taboo for a man to have mental issues.
Because you're supposed to be strong.
Exactly.
Did we talk about this last week a little bit?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, I think we talked about it, but it wasn't last.
Maybe it was in your head. Yeah, I don't think you guys talked about it last week. But oh man, yeah, I'm so excited that you brought it up. To guys out there like that are experiencing anxiety and depression and all this pressure from the world. It could be either just society in general or even your spouse, your family, like your friends, anybody. Like, you need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
You need to get that out of your system. You need to talk to somebody about it, whether it's professional help, going to therapy, or someone that you can confide in and actually talk to them about it. Please do it.
It could be self-pressure too. Like, you can be putting that on yourself because you 100%. think that this is what you're supposed to do. You think you're not doing enough, and you're doing that to yourself.
I just had, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I have a friend who just is kind of opening up to me about this, and it is self. It's him. He's putting all that pressure on him, and he's thinking that he's not doing the best that he can, or he's not where he's supposed to be, even though he's doing great. So yes, that is true. It can also be self.
Yes.
I have an interesting twist.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I feel a lot of times that the reason why men have a side chick is not sometimes about the sex.
Oh, this is going to be a great segue.
It's sometimes about being with a woman that they're not financially responsible for, that will sit there and just listen and give advice and not be like, all right, nigga, when are you going to pay these bills?
Right. There's no
I've
judgment.
been that.
You know what I mean?
I know.
It's like,
I don't brag about it, but I understand where he was coming from, even though it lasted very short amount of time because I was like, nope.
But it's like, but you become the therapist, you become the emotional support, and they feel safe because they feel like if they're open up to their wife or their partner, that a bitch is gonna be like, nigga, shut the fuck up, pay these bills, eat this pussy.
You stressing.
What about me? I be putting in this manual labor.
Right.
But not for nothing. It's not to take away from women. We do go through and deal with a lot, but I do think that we overlook men, the societal pressures they deal with, the financial pressures.
100%.
And then when they go through something, we be like, nigga, this light work. You know, we make them feel like their feelings, thoughts, emotions are invalid.
Bad. Yes.
And because they're a man, they need to suck it up. And what about me, nigga? Da, 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 da. And it's like,
and that's the issue with these couples, and even marriages that have been together for so long. Those conversations weren't had back then. I feel like us, that we've waited this long to actually, or we're trying to find a good partner to be with. That's one of the conversations that we're aware of at our ages, to say, hey, how are we going to split this up? Like, what kind of mental load or workload? Like, how are we going to split this up to where neither person feels so much pressure? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's just a relationship thing. I think it starts with the parenting.
Oh, yeah. That's
little
true.
Boys crying and you telling that little boy that he can't cry, this, that, and the 30. Because let's say that your man is the man that was taught that he can't express himself and cry.
Yep. Now he's never going to express himself to you.
Let's say he tries to express himself for that first time to you, and you're dismissive or you're not listening. Having listening skills are one of the best things you can. Sometimes these niggas just want to be heard.
That's what I'm saying. Just listen. Yeah.
You just shut down and be dismissive. He's very reluctant to ever open up to you again. And that's a very dangerous place to be in terms of, one, you not knowing what your partner's thinking. And it's very dangerous for him because the one person he should be able to open up to, he's not going to open up to.
Yeah, no, but taking it back to the parenting, with my nephews, that is one of the things that I'm very conscious of is, if they hurt themselves or they start crying over any reason, which is what children do.
Right.
Like,
boy or girl.
Yeah. Trying to be that comfort. Like, okay, what's wrong? What is it? What's going on? Instead of, why are you crying?
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to cry. Yeah, exactly. Like, no. Or when they break something, whatever, and they start crying, it's like, it was an accident. you need to be careful. Like, and that's what, obviously right now I have mostly boys. The last couple of kids I've been born have all been boys. But even with them, like my mom, I'm the second oldest of 6, and it's 3 boys, 3 girls. The girls are the oldest, and then the boys are the youngest. My mom still raised them the exact same way that she did the girls. They gotta do their own laundry. They gotta clean their rooms. They have a dishes. Who does the dishes on which day on the calendar? Like, they need to learn how to cook. All of that stuff.
The only thing that I want to add to this, and no disrespect to anybody, but I feel like both on the parenting side and on the relationship side, I think there needs to be a delicate balance between caring just enough and not over babying the situation.
Facts.
Because I feel like when you over baby your son, you're doing him a disservice, because then when shit goes down in life, then he's gonna act like a little bitch. So I'm like, be more problem solving.
Yeah,
like, listen,
100%.
Hear it out. All right, baby, this is what you're okay.
Yeah,
it's
a very delicate balance.
We need to move forward, because I feel like when you're in a relationship and you show your man that, like, whatever you need, baby, I'm here.
There has to be a limit. Yeah,
then a nigga start feeling himself too much, and then next thing you know, he starts treating you like you're like putty just molding in his hand. So I feel like there needs to be a balance between caring enough, being supportive, but also making sure he knows that the world doesn't revolve around him.
And they need to be self-sufficient.
But knowing that the world doesn't revolve around you is fine, but the female doesn't have to treat you like shit in order to express that.
And I think that as women, we struggle with that balance. We either revolve around his fucking life or treat him like shit.
Be a middle ground.
It's not often that we're finding the middle ground.
Like, that's not tough love. Like, not only do I have a boy, but I have a teenage boy. So things are changing for me and him as is. And one thing, listen, I am not the perfect parent. I talk to my kids sometimes. Like, he's my homie, because I'm like, listen here, little nigga. Like, no, we gonna get it together. This is how real life. Rome can attest to this. Yeah. However, my son understands that there's been moments we've had conversations and he doesn't understand my logic because he's a teenage boy, right? So there's moments where he's frustrated, he's tearing up, he's upset, he's bothered.
I've seen it with my oldest.
And guess what? So I literally will be like, you can sit in that. You can be upset. You can be frustrated. Figure your thoughts out. And when you want to have a conversation with me about it, you can definitely do that.
I feel like sometimes a pop-off is needed for the shock value. Yeah. But I do think it needs to circle around, even if it's hours later, to Dr. Phil.
Yes.
No, because here's the problem. There's so many parents that don't want their kids to feel some type of way about them. Like, no, I want to be my kid's best friend. Like, I don't want them to be mad. No, let them be mad. That's okay. I heard in a show one time, it was a dad, and he said to his son, he said, my job is not to be your best friend. My job is to raise you right.
Correct.
Like,
100%.
Listen, you might hate me from time to time. That's okay. But in the end, you're going to thank me. Okay? That's how my mom raised us.
Some days, if you hate me, that means I'm doing my job correctly.
Exactly. I don't mind it if you don't like me today.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Some days I don't like you.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm not a parent, but I think that if something you're saying to your child causes an emotional response, it opens the door to a teachable moment. Because it's like, clearly you feel some type of way. Tell me why you mad.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. And that's why, and sometimes they don't know the words to express themselves.
And that's why she said,
challenging
sit in it. We'll talk later. Yeah.
I've had moments where I've argued with my child, and argued's probably the wrong word, but we've gone back and forth about how he sees something and I see it a different way. Yep. And if we're riding in the car from school, oh, you're upset, you're crying because you can't figure out how to speak or how to express yourself to me, sit in this car. I'm going to go to the store right here. I'm going to get off. It's going to give you like 20, 30 minutes. When I come back, probably you'll have something to speak about. And then we can address it accordingly. And my son is really, really, really good at that. Like, he's like, Mom, I was thinking and I thought that maybe I was doing this correctly, but I see your point of view. Like, he's very vocal that way.
And I think that the parenting adds a layer to that, because I feel like if you're the super gully parent that's like, nigga, I don't give a fuck that you're crying, I don't give a fuck about what you're thinking, I said what the fuck I said, and that's end of story, then now you're desensitizing your child and letting them know, like, No one cares about my thoughts.
And he's
no
gonna
one cares about my feelings.
He or she, they're gonna shut down immediately when they feel some type of way.
What happens as a parent is as you get older and you start softening up and you're about to go through empty nest syndrome, you're gonna go through all that shit and wondering why your kid doesn't fucking talk to you. It's because you raised them that way.
Yep.
Right.
You raised them that they cannot come to you. You raised them that they cannot talk to you.
Right.
And it's just something to be mindful of, and it does transcend and affect romantic relationships and all kinds of things.
Oh man, I've met plenty of damaged men. Like
I don't want to make this a race thing,
but
you have to go there.
I'm going to go there for just one fucking minute.
Yep.
One goddamn minute.
Go there.
One cotton picking minute.
Oh my God, really?
When we look at black men that only date white women and we're sitting on the sidelines and we're like, your own mother is black and your sisters are black. And I need you to hate
the
woman.
shame. Yeah.
What if he has the black mom that made him feel like he was less than a human being? And maybe that's what subconsciously.
And here came Becky with the good hair, and she was like,
make him hate the black woman. Because the epitome of a black woman, which was mom, made him feel like shit, and then the white woman came in and worshipped his mind and his body and whatever. So it's like, as peers to this man, it's so easy to judge him for being with the white woman, but we don't know what his upbringing was. Maybe his 100%. Own mother taught him to hate black women.
That's also an issue, is that I feel like as minorities, we tend to express this tough love to our men because we are going through more struggles than Caucasians, and we need to build you tough and we need you to be ready for the world, but in reality you are doing them a disservice. I feel like, and this is, I'm not saying all black women are like this, but to our sons, the mom is supposed to be like the pinnacle of what a woman is supposed to be. And if you become the person that he despises, it's very likely he's gonna date someone that's the opposite of that. So I just think there's a responsibility for us women to be mindful on so many levels for so many reasons on how we treat the men in our lives, kids, partners,
and even if you're
whatever.
not a mom, like in my case, I had young brothers I was 15 when one of them was born, 18 when the other one. I have 3 nephews and a niece, and I have been the second mom to all of them. And I've taken my role very seriously. So even if you're that second kind of parent to somebody in your family, or even
someone
friends,
looks up to you.
Yeah, even friends, take that seriously. Like, make sure that you do, if you have a teachable moment, like, and you have that permission sort of from the parent, take advantage of it.
Well, it's like people call them social media influencers. Before the social media influencer, there was the aunt or the favorite uncle or the whatever.
Exactly.
Because maybe you weren't getting what you needed at home, but that favorite aunt or uncle that gave you a little something different. You were that social media influencer to that kid.
Yeah, pay attention.
You know?
Pay attention.
And I don't think we realize how important of a role that plays. I remember moments as a child where I've picked up things from the outside and it stuck with me. So that's very true.
Yeah.
Let me see if I have anything else. Okay. Wow. Apparently I do. Rant number 1. Wow, I forgot about these rants.
More than one?
Apparently.
Ooh, okay.
You don't have the luxury of time. Oh, yeah.
We did talk about that. You guys talk. Actually, you talk about that a lot.
Sure do.
Just a reminder.
Yeah. PSA again.
You don't have the luxury of time, not just in relationships,
life,
but starting a career, going to school, all these little things that you want to fucking do. You don't have the luxury of time, so get on it. I guess that's the extent of that rant. I don't know what I was feeling when I noted that.
I wonder.
Rant number 2.
Ooh.
Fuck a nigga that don't celebrate your body when you're at your personal best.
Oh, okay. I thought you literally meant fucking. I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Fuck that nigga.
No. Got it. Okay.
I really thought you were fucking. Like,
Sometimes when you... I wrote a whole fucking essay.
It's a lot.
I don't remember this.
It's a lot.
Sometimes when you come out of a relationship, you can have little thoughts in your head that sticks with you from previous relationships, and it fucks with your self-esteem and whatnot. That's and whatnot.
I hate you.
Having high self-confidence is great, but sometimes a good aha moment where you see that people love and value for who you are can feel validating. And I want to encourage anyone who's doubting themselves, just strive for their personal best and to accept themselves.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll elaborate on this because I'm giving no fucks today. Nigga got a headache and all
That's
kinds of
how
shit.
life should be lived.
Okay. So I love myself. I have high self-confidence, very self-aware. Winnie the Pooh is my nigga.
Yeah.
All that shit. All right. I was in a relationship with someone at some point of my life, very general, that wasn't a fan of this body, which is fine. Okay.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Which is fine. Like what you like. Maybe you shouldn't have been with me.
I was going to say,
like
what was the
you
purpose
like.
then? Yeah.
Like what you like.
Yeah.
Now, even though I'm no longer in that situation, I'm like, you know what? Everything's not for everybody.
No.
There's niggas out there that are feeling this.
Kid.
And
Preach.
I'm feeling myself.
Preach.
And it's okay. But it wasn't until recently that I have someone that's really been very vocal about how attracted they are to me and my body.
The best.
And it's making me feel like this is real. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Doo doo doo.
I cannot right now. I cannot. Please watch video.
Oh my God. Yes, girl. I've been there.
And I'm just saying, like,
It's amazing.
the self-confidence is great. I feel like I've always had that piece.
Yes.
But the hearing it is like, yes.
It takes it to a whole
It's
nother
real.
level. Yeah.
That's why you had a headache when you nutted last time. It's
Yeah.
so much.
Maybe.
No, I love when you talk about this because for us that like I've always been bigger. I've always been the chubby girl. And my weight has always fluctuated. I have stretch marks. I got stretch marks when I was like 12 when I started, I hit puberty, all that stuff. So I've gotten to know them at a very young age. You have women that don't get stretch marks, maybe one little hair when they get pregnant and they're like, oh my God, the world's going to end. And like, I'm very comfortable with my body because I had to get there. Otherwise, I would have lost my goddamn mind.
Do you feel like that came with age or just because you learned to accept yourself?
I think it also had to do with my family. And like, I've just, like my family has always been very comfortable about the human body and flaws and everything. And so
Not
it came with that.
shaming you.
Exactly. No shame. And my mom used to walk around naked like she didn't. She didn't care. Like
So your environment.
Exactly. I think it has to do with environment and then the friends that you choose as well. Had I chosen friends that were all about physical appearance and pointing those flaws out, I don't know what kind of person I would be today.
Time out.
Okay.
Time out. This is going to sound very weird. And Mom, if you're listening, I'm very sorry, but I have to.
Go.
Like, Mom used to walk around the house naked.
Yeah.
Yo, my mom would walk around the house naked. And I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
Because it normalized
Everything.
what body,
Yes.
what a woman's body
Exactly.
could do. And it wasn't just what I saw on TV or what I saw in a magazine. Like, I literally saw her body.
Yeah, everything. Every flaw after having 6 kids, everything. I saw one of my brothers be born.
That's dope.
Okay, I experienced that, which was amazing, and the level of respect for my mom went even higher because I saw her give birth.
You saw what her body could do.
Like composed. It was amazing. And then even with my brothers, my mom has walked around naked, and even though they're like, Mom, but you know what? In the end, that's gonna help a lot because they can see. Yeah, what a woman's body is. It's not this airbrush thing that you see on TV and magazines and all that stuff.
Is this naked thing in front of kids a Latina thing, a Puerto Rican thing?
I think,
is it a thing that people do?
I think
Is
it's
this
more
normal?
prevalent in the Latino culture than anybody else because I don't think Black people do that.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I don't know.
What
I'm
about white
sure.
people? I don't think white
I
people
don't think
about
white
it.
people do it at all because for them everything's taboo. Now, of course, there's an exception to every rule because I have met white people that are very open about bodies and everything. But I saw my mom breastfeed, all that stuff. Like, I think it depends, but I think culturally speaking, more times than not, I think Latino women tend to be more open about that.
I agree to a certain extent because I also think it's generational. I think the older heads are probably more okay because they didn't really see anything taboo. It was just kind of like, that's become a thing now. Like, oh, you're not supposed to do this because you can damage them.
Child
this.
abuse.
Yeah, like
Right.
that's neglect. That's this. That's whatever. So I think
sexualizing something that's not
exactly.
like breastfeeding. Oh, don't be breastfeed. Like, I think that it's a generational thing. The older heads are kind of like accepting about the fact like, you gonna get all this work. You feel me? Like, this is me.
Yeah.
And then environment as well. My mom would walk around naked and be okay with it. Therefore,
okay,
now
you think,
man,
wow, I feel great.
So you would think that this is the norm. Like, there's nothing wrong with this, and then
there's no issue. Yeah,
you would do it, and now you're I think it's not a bad thing.
And this is important because like I have white friends who are really heavy into fitness, right? And one of the reasons, there's this one girl that I met. Her sister is legitimately an Olympic athlete, and then the mother is also very athletic, and in her head she's grown up in this environment that if she's not athletic, if she's not this, or are you really going to eat that, are you really going to wear that, again,
that's crazy.
What you're doing
that messes you up.
Meanwhile, we over here like rice, beans, don't stop, get it, no, bro, don't give a fuck.
No, but that really is damaging the
100%.
psyche of like what is the norm to these kids. Like, that's why everything.
And you meet so many women with those image issues. For me, it's the other way around. Like, I look in the mirror and I'm like,
okay, bitch,
better get it. And then I look at pictures, I'm like, ooh.
Look up in the mirror. Ooh,
but I feel like I look
fine.
amazing. Like, I don't care, you know? And then I don't need validation from anyone
but
about
I'm
that.
friend, though. I will hype the shit out of you.
And you have to have those friends.
What? Let my friend put something on and I'm like, okay, bitch.
Exactly.
The other day.
They should be posting. I'm like,
no, let me tell you. The other
really does
day,
it. Yeah.
I was like, let me go talk to my friend. So I come in the room and I'm like, what are you wearing tonight? And she goes, I don't know. I was thinking about this. I was like, try it on right now.
Right.
So she tries it on in front of me. The whole time she's looking in the mirror, I'm like, yes, bitch. Ooh, yes. Get it. And she starts dancing in front of the mirror. I'm like, I'm not friends.
Exactly. You have to be. But
I just be wondering if you be gassing the nigga up though.
Nah.
First off, if I am, that's my job.
Yes,
and second of all,
excuse me.
Yeah.
Until a nigga come in your life and starts putting in this manual
I
labor.
feel like at the same time she would tell you when something don't look
dead
right.
ass, have I not?
There's
been times she's put on
and
boots.
that's
like,
when you know somebody
you
is
need
your
to take
friend.
those off.
Yeah.
I've done that for you too.
Yeah, I was like, you need to take
Because
those
how
off.
many times have y'all gone out and you see a bitch wearing a hot like
she ain't got no friends.
That's what I say. I'm like she
got
has
no real
friends at all whatsoever.
I am guilty of waiting for her to ask me, and then I'll tell her.
Oh no, I say
She'll be like, "How does this look?" I'm like, "Your butt looks weird."
Yeah. But there's also some times where I'll disregard what she'll say because we have different styles, right?
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, nah, this works.
Yeah, she don't know what she's talking about.
This works. And she'll be like, nah, friend, I think I'm like,
I'm just saying.
I'm still gonna wear it anyways.
Okay.
Oh, you did that to me too. You were like, I don't like that jacket with that dress, too much prints going on. And I'm like, well, I like print on print.
But at least I told you.
That's true.
That's true.
That's it. Listen, the rest
I
is
like
up
that
to
we
her.
can talk.
Yeah. It's
but
now, if you out here getting judged by somebody else, don't say that your friends didn't warn you.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah, no, but being comfortable with your body is huge in all aspects.
Now, even
of
though
your
you
life.
don't need validation, let's say you haven't heard feedback in a long
Right.
time. All you're relying on is your own
self-confidence.
self-confidence, and you do hear it.
No, that's
Does
what I was
it
gonna
do
say.
something for you?
Yeah, no, what you were saying. Oh, 100%. If a dude is like, this past weekend I went out and I got some compliments and I was like, girl, like it does. And as much as you want to be like this woman that's like, man, I don't need nobody to be attracted to me. Like, I'm good. I know what I got. Girl, I don't care who you are. Even a lesbian. I even heard it from a lesbian that has gotten hit on by a man. She's like, I'll take the compliments.
What?
You know what I'm saying? And this is like a manly, like looking like
So
lesbian.
I don't know
Done.
if you guys have experienced
Thank
this.
you, sir.
I don't
You're
know
right.
if you have experienced this, but do you feel like when a gay guy compliments you that it's so much more real?
It's
because
great.
there's no gain for him.
There's no gain, but I feel like
it's more from admiration.
yes, it comes from admiration, but there are some gay dudes that still have a slight attraction
Like I
to
still
women.
hit it.
Not for nothing. I don't care, straight or gay. Men love boobs. They love the titties. Like, it does not matter. I have been motorboated by a gay man and be like, oh my God, oh, like they smell so good. Like, and I know that sounds terrible. Like, nobody should be harassing anybody, but
hey, if you
it is
allow
what
it,
it
it's
is.
not
When you're
harassment.
when you're
It was
comfortable,
a consensual motorboat.
and like, you know the difference between a bad harassment and a good harassment. Like, it is what it is.
Or a no harassment based on whether or not she accepts it.
Right.
Then it wouldn't be harassment.
It's not harassment if she likes it.
Yeah,
it's manual
no,
labor.
but I mean, of course, it feels great when somebody validates what you're already feeling.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, so I just want to let anyone know who's in limbo that might have those little white lies in their heads that cause that little bit of self-doubt.
Somebody out there like it.
It's out there. Not saying that it's important to find them
but you
niggas,
were saying though, like,
they out there.
I know that I'm not everybody's type, and I'm okay with that. There's women that want to be somebody's type so bad, and it's like, no, listen, he don't like you. Old dude does. Like, there's somebody. Everybody likes something, and it's like you're gonna be attractive to somebody,
right?
Regardless. Trust.
Church.
May the church say amen.
Amen, sister.
Amen.
All right.
The Lord is doing some work today.
Yeah, he is. All right. So I'm going to build up a scenario.
Ooh.
And then I want you guys to give me your feedback.
Okay.
You're fucking around with a dude, right?
Okay.
You're a side chick.
Okay.
Oh.
Something happens in his relationship, his main relationship, and now he's single. Do you automatically assume that you're going to be the main chick and are happy about it? And what happens if you don't become anything after that main situation is dead? Do you get mad about that? Like, I was just a side chick and that's all I stand?
You want to go first? Because, I mean, I can say some things.
I think you should go. I got a lot to say.
So, I was a side chick for a very short amount of time.
Give us a time.
Couple months, maybe. And it was mostly because I think I kind of blinded myself. Like, I knew, like, he kind of did the whole, oh, you know, we're separated, we're having problems, blah, blah. And I wanted to believe it just because he was a really good looking guy.
That always
Did
makes it
he
worse.
have good D? They always have the
And
good
it's so funny
D.
because it wasn't ginormous or anything. It was the way he worked and it was the chemistry that we had, which always makes a huge difference.
Yes.
Tell her again that size don't matter.
It really does. I mean, to an extent.
To an extent.
But
so average size can work.
Oh,
Can it?
yeah.
I didn't say anything about average size.
Continue, madam.
Yeah.
Whatever. Get the fuck out of here.
It was for a very short amount of time. And I think age plays into this question a lot as well. I was already 30, I believe, when so it was fairly recently. It was when I moved down here. And once I figured out that he was very much still married, very much still living with his wife, I think she got pregnant while we were kind of talking. It was a hot mess that I normally do not deal with. And with the quickness, I cut that off very quickly.
Okay.
Once it was just like, nah, this
Revealing itself.
Exactly.
Okay.
I was like, I don't care how attracted I am to you. I'm not going to do this. And he was very disappointed.
Switch that up, though.
Yeah.
Let's say that none of that happened.
Right. So switching it up. So I just wanted to kind of put my
Your
case
side
out
chick.
there.
My her side chick relevance.
The little bit
she
of
was out here putting that
experience.
manual labor.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That little bit of experience that I had. So if this were to happen in my early 20s, let's say, where you're real dumb, let's be real, and you like see yourself with this man, you don't care about the fact that they're, you know, married, all that stuff, whatever, or in a relationship, and then they like break up with a person, I think I would expect to then pick up that place in my early 20s.
Okay.
Today, if that were to happen, I definitely would not expect to be the one that he's gonna go to or pick up with after he ends this long-term relationship that he was in.
Why?
I think experience shows you that if they're messing around with you while they're married, you're probably not the only person.
I would see it also as the fact that it's like, if you do become the main, how comfortable are you going to be knowing
Exactly.
that at one point you were the side? There's going to be a possibility of him having another side. But then there's also a man's going to be a man to whatever woman he feels is worthy of that.
Yeah, it's a risk all around.
I feel like there's a lot of variety that can happen depending on the situation. Everything's case by case.
It is, yeah.
So I'll touch on the age thing. Young girl that don't know and understand the game would be foolish enough to compare herself to the main bars, right? So
go ahead.
The thing is, like, if the main is someone he has kids with, someone he's been with a long time, someone he's going home to every fucking night, someone he's helping financially support, and then young girl is like, when are you gonna leave her and be with me? I feel like that's the young girl game, right? She'll actually vocalize that.
Yeah.
She will actually
I feel like an older chick will not.
An older chick will be like, so nigga, what you trying to do? I mean, because I'm out here in these streets. And I ain't going to be sitting around waiting for some nigga that got a girl. So what the fuck? Yeah. Or this is only going to go but so far because you have a woman. So I don't have these relationship expectations. Right. Now, if he's the type of man, you're a mature woman. And he's like, my game plan is I'm working on my exit strategy. And when I do, I'm promising you the world, this, that, whatever. I feel like the mature woman needs to be like, first of all, nigga, you probably need some time to yourself to process
that was my situation going on right there,
because it's like, okay, great, you're single, but do I really want to fuck with a nigga that's going through this weird ass life transition where he's going from situation A to situation B and I'm caught up in the middle of that? It can get a little difficult. So my thing is that while it can work, me as a woman, I'm not going to have the expectation that as soon as you roll out of that, you need to roll into this, because my thought is that it may not necessarily be the healthiest thing for him. It may not be the healthiest thing for me. And I want what's best for him ultimately. And if I'm going to have you, I want to have the best version of you. So if that means you having a little bit of a buffer before we try to have something, maybe I'm open to that. I don't know. Second thing, I don't want you leaving your relationship because you feeling pressure from me, my nigga. I want you to leave your relationship because you don't want to be in that relationship. If it takes me to pull you out of your relationship, then you ain't a real ass nigga that does whatever the fuck he wants to do. You do whatever the fuck these bitches tell you to do. And if you doing shit because I told you to do it, then you ain't a real ass nigga, and that don't make my pussy wet. So
that was a lot, and it was a great.
I'm just saying, niggas, do whatever the fuck you want. If you don't want to be with main bitch and you meeting another bitch is opening your eyes like, yo, why the fuck am I with this bitch who's belittling me, that doesn't appreciate me, when meanwhile I got queens like this that fuck with a nigga. Nigga, let me get the fuck out of this and get into that. And then I'll be like, okay, time out, homeboy. Because while I may seem like a queen, I'm human. I'm not perfect. Let's continue to get to know each other. And if it grows into something, great. But if it doesn't, don't look at me like I'm the one that broke up your relationship. I want you to leave that relationship because it's not good for you. And that's because not what you want. And as for me, I only want a healthy, happy nigga that can add value to my life. And if you're a broken nigga and you can't give me that, then maybe we are only good enough to have like a physical relationship where we have deep conversations. And you're deep inside of me all the way. Maybe that's all we're meant to be.
In manual labor. So basically what I'm gathering is that you're saying that if you were to be side chick, the main is now out the picture for whatever the reason is. They found that they're toxic for each other. No expectations. Because ultimately being a side chick is really like chilling, dating, fucking, shit like that, right? So would you say that you're only going to be investing time saying we're going to continue this, we're not going to give ourselves a title, and we're going to see if we can grow from there once we've reached our own personal growth?
It depends. It depends on what it took for him to get out of that situation. And I want to make sure that a nigga loves himself before he tries to love me, because I'm like, I just don't want to feel this pressure that he's only going to be happy if he's with me type thing. But you asked another question and I don't think I quite answered. Would I be upset if once he became single that he didn't get with me and maybe he got with someone else, or maybe he was playing the field? I feel like if that were to happen, I probably would feel a little butthurt if I was excited with the thought that he would choose me. But I think that that's such a good checkpoint in life for me to take a deep look at myself. Why did I even think, You know, like
I was the only one out here.
Right.
Or why did I don't have the right to expect that. This man has free will.
Right.
He has free choice. And I sat here and acted like an entitled little bitch, like he was mine when he was never mine from the beginning.
Right.
Are you of the thought, though, that a man who has cheated previously in other relationships and probably dogged out women left and right can be a great man to one specific female?
I don't want to say one specific, but I feel that I believe in growth and I believe in change. And I know when people say like, oh, once a dog, always a dog, yada, yada, yada. I think that there's something that comes natural and instinctive to everyone. But I also know a lot of niggas that get tired and fat and they know that they don't got it like they used to. And they tend to slow down the older that they get. And sometimes they become more loyal. So that's one piece of it. But
so you gotta wait
that,
for niggas to get fat and ugly for them
I'm
to
just
be loyal
saying
to
that's
you.
one thing. That's one part of it.
Got it.
But I feel like the second part of it is that if this nigga has done nothing but fucked with shallow bitches that never demanded self-respect, that never established boundaries, then he's like, you know what? The reason why I keep having these fucked up relationships is because I'm over here fucking with cockadoodie brain bitches. I ain't fucking with no real bitch. And then he's like, yo, now I'm ready to try to be with a woman that's a little more, that requires more of me.
But that's different from a man who's in a relationship and is cheating on their spouse or partner multiple times. You're talking about a dude that's just hoeing around, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, what I'm saying is, what if he married cockadoodie brain bitch?
Ooh.
What if he married her?
You're right.
And
which
then-
has happened.
and
Yeah,
then-
you're right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then now
Yo,
he's
because
like,
bitches be trash too.
No,
Let's be
100.
you married a bitch that's
yes.
like, oh, all she cares about is my money.
Right,
She
right,
don't
right,
actually care about me. She doesn't appreciate what I do. If I'm not doing this, she don't give a fuck about me. And then you find these women that actually know how to tell you no, and this is how I
Right.
expect to be treated, and all the. And he's like, yo, this is a woman that's actually challenging me, and he views you as a different breed of bitch. He may just treat you differently as
Right,
a person,
right.
than he treats these other bitches that he was used to being with, and
Right.
that can trigger a different level of treatment. But my thought is this: if I'm fucking with a nigga that falls in line of, oh, has cheated, when he met me he was with someone, whatever the case is, I just feel like, just know, my nigga, like, you try that shit over here, like, there's consequences associated with your actions. So
That's
make your
it.
choice.
Yep.
And it's on you.
Yeah, 'cause
just know I'm gonna be straight regardless, my nigga.
Right. It's like you said, it's case by case every time. I'm sure back in the day I've said, oh yeah, if once a cheater, always a cheater, all that stuff. But it really all depends.
I was
It really
straight
depends.
before you. I'll be straight after you. Understand what I'm saying, sir.
Yes.
Yo, I can't wait to hear this back
It's
because this is gonna be crazy.
Your choice. I don't give a fuck what cockadoodie brain bitch allowed you to do. Just know there's no cockadoodie over here.
Nope.
You feel me?
But also, men are going to behave accordingly. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that, like, cockadoodie brain. That's how you said it, right?
I don't know.
Cockadoodie brain.
What?
I think
Cockadoodie?
so. That makes
Cockadoodie
sense. I don't know.
brain is the type of shorty that causes emotional mental stress,
Yep.
emasculates this nigga, right? Okay, now you got side chick that's constantly building you up with a healthy balance,
Right.
realizing that the flaws that shorty's pointing out to you is not, she doesn't see those as flaws. She just creates an environment for you where she says, well, yeah, but we can work on this. You can do this differently.
encouraging.
It's
Right.
encouraging. He may behave completely different just off that strength with the side chick than the main shorty. He may
Right.
call shorty in the house all types of bitches and hoes because of the way that you guys communicate with each other.
Right.
Side chick's over here lifting you up. You're going to want to be a good guy to her.
Yeah, but is he gonna stay in that situation?
That
That's
is
the
his
question.
choi- and
Exactly.
his
That's
choice
the
because
problem.
Side chick can be like, listen, I don't give a fuck how many times you cheated on your shorty.
Right.
Let it be known if you cheat on me, I ain't sticking around.
Right.
Well, I think two things come to mind with that. One, the thing we talked about earlier about finding that balance between making a nigga feel like he's the shit and like you the
Belittling.
shit, but you can't.
Right, but letting
Don't
him know
get too
where,
carried
what he
away,
needs to
my
work
nigga.
on.
Facts.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm not cockadoodie brain bitch. But I feel like I forgot where I was going with my thought. But I just feel like, fear. This is where we kind of talk about how like I know that I can be manipulative. It's just a hustler in me. I can't help it. But fear is a motherfucker.
It really is. It's real.
Ruling someone with fear is one of the most powerful things you can do. You just have to be careful because you have to be able to back up whatever the fuck you threatening niggas with. You can't be like, oh, if you cheat on me, I'm gonna leave, and then a nigga cheat on you and you don't leave.
Right.
So there's so many women living those lives where they keep threatening and they've been with the dude for like 20 years.
So my thing is that if you're a super awesome queen woman on a pedestal, he's going to have the fear, like, if I fuck up,
I can lose all that.
I can lose all that. And just that little seed of fear can make a difference.
I think history can or experience and history can speak towards that as well, to instill fear. Listen, have I ever stuck around to anybody that's cheated on me? Oh, you see that Tom, Dick, Harry, Sally, Joseph, all these people are no longer in a relationship with me because once they cheated, I was out. That can happen to you. Let that
and it's up to that person. I mean, that's the expectation that you put in from the get-go when you get in a serious relationship with somebody. It's like, listen, we're both putting in all this work. I don't want to risk that. Do you want to risk that? Like, all obviously, especially when because I think you guys have discussed on here before the concept of monogamy and then people that are not monogamous, because there are people that are in relationships and they're totally okay with each person going at the open relationships. I'm not about that life, that's for sure. But yeah, so for people that aren't about that life, like, let it be known from the get-go, listen, this is what you're gonna lose if you decide to go somewhere else. I'm
gonna tell you where we fuck up though, in terms of main chicks. When you become the bitch that a nigga's like, I wish you would leave me because I'm sick of your shit, bitch. Like, please leave.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of this. There's some that I've seen where I'm like,
so
how have you
like
not left this
would
woman?
Rather the girl make the decision.
There's a lot.
Dudes do it all the time.
Oh my God, there's so many men.
They set it up.
Yep.
They set it up. Because they don't want to look like the bad guy that left their
like,
woman or the mother of their kids.
Remember that.
Always.
Yep.
That makes sense.
They out here building shit up, waiting for her to pull the trigger.
And she never does.
And she
That's
never
probably
goes.
why they're also out here stepping out, not being reckless as fuck, not caring if they get
cheaper
caught.
To keep her.
Yes.
All these little, I don't want niggas to look at me like I left my kid and my wife and the house and the this. And that's why they stay. Because they're too pussy to fucking just walk away.
Exactly.
If you look at breakups on a ratio basis, how many women are typically the ones
I've almost always been the one, whether it was because I wasn't feeling that person or because I could tell that they weren't that into me anymore, but they didn't say anything. I've always been the one to break up with somebody.
I just had a moment. I've never been broken up with. I've always been the one to do the breakup.
Exactly.
No,
there we go. Yeah. I was gonna say, kill me.
No, like to piggyback off that.
These are facts. So
think back, ladies. Think back.
Point being, if you was the shit when a nigga first got with you, then all of a sudden you stop caring about your body. You stop caring about him. You start caring about the kids.
That revenge body's real.
No, but now what is he afraid of losing? A fucking lump of coal?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna lose this fucking lump of coal.
These dudes will still be with the lump of coal.
They will, but they're not afraid to lose it.
I mean, I guess
they're not as fearful because it's devalued itself so much. They're probably afraid of the consequences associated with that. Type of change.
That's what they think about is, like you said, the kids, money, because a lot of times obviously they have a home together or their finances are together and this and that and the other. And it's like, I was talking to a friend of mine about that. Like, there's so many people in relationships today, especially marriages that have been together for, let's say, 20 something years at this point. They've known each other their whole lives, and it's like, but clearly they're not happy, and they still remain to stay with each other because of convenience. Like you said, like, it's just they're used to it. You know, there is a fear of getting back into the dating game, which I totally understand. But at the same time, and this is what I was telling you, I was like, okay, all those factors, I understand finances, kids, and everything, but what about your happiness?
Yeah, like, you might be out here blocking your own blessings.
Exactly.
I just feel like the fear play is all about the value of what the woman, like, is this person adding value to my life? And if he can still say yes, very much so, I'm afraid of losing her, he might move a little bit differently to where he's like, fuck this bitch. I can't stand this hoe.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to ever become the bitch that a nigga's like.
Same.
Have you
never
ever heard
be...
a guy say, like, have you ever heard one of your homeboys say that about their significant other?
I never have, but I know that they felt
Oof,
it. I can tell. I've never heard them actually verbalize it, though.
People say that, and I'd be thinking, like, so why are you with
her?
Yeah. Like, if someone makes me react that way, I don't need it. I don't want it.
No.
I'll put it in my
own manual. But that's the thing.
labor.
He'll go home and act like nothing's wrong because he don't express himself.
Right.
Well, Johani, tell our people where they can find you.
I am on the socials, just the two though, Facebook and Instagram.
Just the two. No Twitter.
Johani Hernandez on Facebook. On Instagram, it's Miss J. So MSJ Hernandez 729.
Okay, follow our girl.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed having you on the show.
Loved being
How
here.
did it feel? You liked it?
It was great.
You did
Thanks,
so
guys.
good.
I
like,
really
so
appreciate
normal.
it.
I love it.
Thanks.
Yeah, there's something here.
Oh Lord Jesus!
Listen. Let me
she
know.
will hype you up. Let me tell you,
Let
when we
me
first,
know.
no, I know when we first started this thing, she was like every day calling me, Z, I just want to let you know, you don't think that you're so natural, but you're so natural. I'm like, thanks, friends.
No, yeah, her
Growth.
development too.
Growth
in this one.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll have some more information linked in the description box below. If you haven't already, check us out on our social, CO in Rome podcast, or just CO in Rome. And again, definitely subscribe to us on YouTube. Anything else, CO?
Comment, feedback, rate, all that stuff. We want to know more.
Yada, yada. All right, thanks.
Bye.